Mic check, mic check. What's going on, world? You already know it's your boy SB, and I'd like to welcome you back to episode 73 of season 5 of the Roll Up Podcast. As always, man, as I like to kick off every episode, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all that's been locked in to the Roll Up Podcast. We getting closer and closer to the 80 episode goal, man. And I want to give major credit, major shout out, major love to each and every one of y'all that's been locked into this campaign since the beginning of the year. Like I just said, we getting closer to the end, and I got a special episode for episode 80, so make sure y'all stay locked in for that. But before we dive into the new content, y'all know we got to handle some business first. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the campaign, whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, or YouTube. Make sure you show some love to the movement. The goal for 2025, again, is to amass 100,000 subscribers on all platforms. So if you're really feeling inspired, man, feel free to share the content with the homies. Feel free to check out tsbe.org and join that monthly newsletter that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks. Because, I'm getting ready to fire up that Gas Pack Only Club again, where I highlight some of my favorite indie artists that I feel like you should be tapping into. I've been making a lot of strong connections these last couple weeks, building relationships with the people I already know that make music, and they dropping some gas right now, and I can't wait to share that shit with y'all. So make sure y'all lock into that Gas Pack Only Club movement as well. Make sure you check out the Sauce Brady Experience on YouTube. Make sure you follow the campaign on Instagram and Threads at the Roll Up Podcast. Make sure you go grab a copy of Here's the Truth or You Deserve Better. And make sure you check out the Season 5 merch collection as well. It is available until December 31st. And then we're going to roll out that new on January 1st, 2025. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for what's to come by subscribing to that newsletter, so you can know what's going on with the Roll Up Podcast. Now that we got that taken care of, let's dive into today's conversation. Although it's not necessarily the validation that we are seeking, it's the simple acknowledgement. Whoa, what the fuck was I talking about? Let's start over. Although it's not necessarily the validation that we are seeking, it's the simple acknowledgments that show us that our deeds aren't going unnoticed. Maybe in previous relationships, your extra efforts weren't being appreciated, or you spent a great deal of time working on a project for work, and your manager gives it the Kanye shrug, then proceeds to go on about their day. It's crucial to remember that it's not your fault. Sometimes, when people don't appreciate what we bring to the table, it causes us to recite negative affirmations over our lives. We allow the lack of gratefulness to seep into our thought process and halt any potential thoughts from growing to its full potential. And I'm going to be honest, man, I'm guilty of allowing people's ungrateful demeanor derail me from my life's purpose. But with every action, there's a reaction. When outsiders don't acknowledge your work, don't blame yourself. They're actually doing you a favor. Because eventually, those who didn't believe in you will eventually turn around to support you. Those who said that you were quote-unquote too good or quote-unquote overqualified for a specific role will regret not giving you the opportunity. Show yourself some love and appreciate yourself. Replace those negative affirmations with positive ones. Surround yourself with people who appreciate your energy, and life will change. One of my favorite quotes, as I was writing this, it became one of my favorite quotes by Tony Robbins. And it said, trade your expectations for appreciation, and the world changes for you. And it's funny because, I was talking to one of my homies on Facebook recently, and he was questioning why people don't support the people that they know. And my response was simple. In the beginning, it's not meant for everybody to support you. That's your first true test, to be able to show up for yourself, regardless of applause. Because if you think about it, that's one of the most gangster moves that you can make. Because if you can learn to validate yourself, everybody else's validation will come as a bonus. Above all things that we've talked about this season, Learning to have the confidence and boldness to chase what's rightfully yours is a non-negotiable. As Brian McGill said, no one can set your level of worthiness except you. You set this tone by being fearless in your efforts and taking audacious risks. When it comes to seizing a day, confidence and boldness are necessities. When you move in boldness, it bleeds over into the courage required to do the unthinkable. This journey to the better version of you will invite a lot of opposition. It will invite a lot of people telling you what is and what is impossible. But the fact that you're listening to this message right now is your sign that it's time to be courageous. It's time to step out of your comfort zone and do what's necessary. Another way to ensure that you're living your best life is by being present in the moment. I've mentioned this several times in the season, but when we are able to be in the moment and express gratitude for what we have, we will see that our life really isn't as bad as we make it seem. When we are present in the moment, it allows us to concentrate on completing tasks, helps us stay calm, and gives us the ability to keep better tabs on how we feel internally. Lastly, it's important to take life one day at a time, because it's easy to get swept away in worrying about the future. It's important to realize that the only way to get to tomorrow is by taking care of what needs to be taken care of today. Sometimes we can get so caught up in tomorrow that we let the day slip past us. That's why it's important that we remain focused on the mission, block out those distractions, and take care of what we can take care of today. I'm going to give you an analogy. If you're planning a trip to Miami and you know you got to take 95 south to get there, you'll be wasting your time going up 95 north. Why? Because you're going in the wrong direction. Same goes with life. You can't expect to go a certain direction in life and then put in work to go the opposite direction. Because at the end of the day, we have a little less than 60 days left in 2024. And in order for us to get to where we're trying to go, it starts by handling business today. It starts by us deciding where we want to go in life and catering every major decision to going in that direction. No matter what's happened this year, no matter how fair or unfair this year has been, no matter how good or bad it's been, in order for us to get to where we want to be, it starts by focusing on the present. If you made it this far in the episode, this is your reminder that your life experience is unique. Your work ethic is admirable, and you are well on your way to achieving the life of your dreams. It may take time, but that's okay. We aren't after that quick microwave success. We are playing the game of longevity. We want to be able to have all these ingredients come together so we can smell the success cooking. So when it happens, we can actually be full and content with the work that we've put in. So with that being said, that concludes today's episode of the Roll Up Podcast. I hope something was said today to help you finish off the year strong, because 2025, man, is quickly approaching, and it's going to be here before we know it. And it's time to get serious about making next year the one to remember. So again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the campaign on all major platforms. Make sure you check out TSBE on YouTube. Make sure you lock into the tsbe.org. Make sure you check out the Sauce Factory. Make sure you hit the spot to grab you some merch. Make sure you grab some merch. Make sure you grab some books. Make sure you share the content with the homies. Make sure you know, do what you got to do, man, to make sure that you and your homies get to where you got to be. And as always, man, roll that shit up for your boy. It's your boy. Get lifted. Stay inspired. Yeah, have a good night. Peace.